The $1 Million Movie won't be seen tonight, so we can bring you a very special episode of The Gen X Files. Welcome to the Gen X Files. I'm Jim.
I'm Adam.
And today's show is all about
Top Secret.
Oh,
buddy.
How silly can you get? Oh, how silly can you get?
I think that this movie was top secret for a long time.
Yes.
Nobody seemed to watch it.
Oh, I saw it on, I think, opening day because I was a huge Zaz fan. Welcome to our final All That Zaz.
All That Zaz. We've literally now done All That Zaz.
We have. This is the final Zaz movie that they directed.
Movie, yeah. We have the TV show, which we'll talk about a little bit in this, but we have not covered that. Probably will at some point.
Oh, of course. I mean, we're definitely going to do a Police Squad month where we cover all the movies and the show. And it's surprising to me that they didn't direct the movies.
Well, one of them did. It was just, if you go back and listen to our
Ruthless People
episode, you'll understand why they stopped directing together. Because, funny enough, three people directing at the same time is not very fun.
Oh, my God. Well, we've talked about this a lot. Adam and I have both directed film and theater and commercials and all sorts of things. And whenever there is a collaboration, when you're doing it with somebody, I've never done it with three. That just seems insane.
No, I can't even imagine.
Because that seems like it would be like, I don't know if you've ever gone on like a trip or something with three people and the dynamic is constantly shifting of it's these two against that guy and these two against that guy.
There's always somebody being left out.
Yeah, or somebody being ribbed or teased too much or, so it's very difficult. Even in a social situation with three people, so I can't imagine. Two is hard enough, unless, like we've said, you got to define your roles. This is before you even get into pre-production.
The only three-person team that has been very successful to me is the last podcast on the Left Guys, but they are very, very defined in what they do.
Yeah, and it's a podcast.
Yeah.
They're not
but even
directing.
then, it's still. I mean, I know, but it's just that because generally trios just don't work.
Conan O'Brien needs a friend. They do really well too.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's mainly him, but he has
but
Sonia
also
and
very
Matt
defined
Foley.
roles.
Yes, yes. They know when to come in and interrupt their boss, but they're also there to tease him.
Which I think technically they did in this. I think with Airplane. I mean, I think it was Jerry Zucker that was always there on set, and the other guys were back in like DIT, hanging out with the digital imaging and like watching, and then they would confer and come back.
Yeah.
I think Top Secret had other issues.
Well, Top Secret. See, the problem is Airplane was so hyper-focused and so perfect because it knew exactly what it was spoofing.
Yeah.
We knew exactly what it was spoofing.
Yeah.
And it spoofed it better than anybody spoofed a spoof before.
Well, I think their inexperience with writing scripts and directing helped them in that they leaned so heavily on the source material of 0 Hour that it allowed them to be more focused.
And they also were really good in Airplane about having several jokes within the frame. So you would have the main joke going on, something happening in the background.
Yeah.
Something would happen at the beginning of the scene, the main scene, something in the background, and something at the end of the scene.
Usually the dialogue would have double meaning or something. Like it was just very layered and very deep.
You get like 5 gags in one
it was just
shot.
Yeah, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah. But I think Top Secret, which I really liked when it came out.
Yeah, same.
Young and stupid. No. I was becoming a fan of Val Kilmer. I thought he was really funny and, very handsome.
Yeah. So skinny. He's so
skinny. And of course, Peter Cushing from the Star Wars.
Yeah. Which is, I had totally forgot he was only in one scene.
Well, that's what's beauty about them is they take these great actors and put them in for 90 seconds.
Well, at least Omar Sharif got the crap beat out of him for multiple scenes.
He was well, look, you got to give your credit to Peter Cushing. That backwards walking.
Oh, I can't even imagine. It must have taken weeks to figure out how to do all that.
Because it looked, there's always telltale signs, but it's usually the way people walk backwards and stuff.
Yeah.
But it really...
They did a really good job.
Really good job.
They were really focused on the physicality of it, and because it definitely when I first saw it, I was like, did they do it backwards?
Yeah.
Was it just the dialogue they're speaking backwards? Yeah. But it becomes really obvious when he's throwing the books up into the shelves.
My friend Alex and I, my girlfriend at the time, we got a video camera and we were shooting a bunch of stuff in the park that we lived across the street from. And I remember one of my favorite little shorts we made was It was to that the the rock version of whatever the Vivaldi is, and it was this Frisbee video with Alex and I throwing Frisbees to each other, but we would like jump up into trees and catch it. So it was all like half of it was shot backwards.
Yeah. Oh, that's clever.
And it would look like we were doing the whole Bionic Man thing. And that was one of my favorite things we ever did, because it's one of those things too. I loved doing backwards filming for comedy because it always looks weird.
It's very uncanny, and it works.
We did that with Bill too at one point. I think we did a kung fu fighting one.
Oh, really?
And we had him, and he's such a weirdo anyway, and it was just like he was perfect. But yeah, it is so hard to do that stuff. But anyway, seeing the movie, I really enjoyed it as a kid, but seeing it now, especially after Kentucky Fried Movie and Airplane, which is the gold standard. The problem with the movie is it's too many genres, disparate genres that are mixed together.
Yeah, they're trying to do too much.
Because we all know, at least then, we all knew East and West Berlin.
Yeah.
But there weren't Nazis. Those were communists. And, we knew beach blanket movies, but those were the 60s, not the 80s.
Right.
And it's...
And Elvis movies, it was just there was just too much going on.
Too many mashups that didn't gel well together. It's like Roll for Sandwich. What is that? Adventures in Ardia, where sometimes you roll the dice and the sandwich tastes like crap. And I think it didn't taste like crap, but they didn't have the right ingredients to make this another classic.
It makes me sad because I feel like this could be a better movie.
Yes,
I still really like this movie.
Well,
but it just wasn't quite as good as I remember it being.
Yeah, same. I really like it too, but I think if they would have made it a World War II French Resistance parody, that would have been much better.
Yeah, they just focused on the one thing. Yeah. I don't know why they decided they needed to have the main character be an Elvis impersonator, or Elvis-like person. It was like, I don't know if they had, we got one good joke and we'll just throw it in all of it.
It seems to me like they were trying to cram things that they really like into it, because they probably were Elvis fans. And you say that they were big fans of the World War II spy movies.
Yeah.
It's one of those unfortunate incidents where ambition is just kind of crushed it.
Yeah.
They wanted to put too much in, but they also didn't put enough in.
Yeah.
Because there's some great gags in this.
Oh, yeah.
Great gags. There is the best cow actor I've ever seen. She was amazing.
She was.
She deserved an Oscar nom in my opinion. She was so good.
When she came around the corner, both of us were like, oh my God, that cow's really good at acting.
And then she sneaks away and didn't ever make any acknowledgement that she's wearing galoshes.
Yeah, well, that was funny. I didn't include this, but they couldn't. The galoshes she had on, cows apparently hate having their hooves covered.
Oh,
so they had to cut the bottoms off because then they could feel the ground.
Right.
But like if they didn't, they literally were just bucking like horses. They went crazy.
Well, they're cows.
Yeah, I know.
You ever try to put a shoe on a hobbit?
No.
Same thing.
No.
They don't like shoes on their furry feet. They
if
like
you can find a shoe big enough.
They got big feet,
But yeah, it was just funny, though. It was because that cow really steals the third act.
100%. It is so good. That whole bit is fun. I mean, there's some really classic, great, funny bits.
There are some really, really good jokes. It just all doesn't come together the way that it should.
And it ends so abruptly.
Yeah.
It just seems...
It definitely, like, they tried to cast a blanket at the end, and then that was it.
It seemed like they rushed it. They didn't really know how to end the movie, so they just ended it.
I think it was Jerry or David Zucker who said that Airplane was a movie, whereas Top Secret is more like a joke book.
Yeah.
Like, it just kind of goes, and it's like, some of them string together, some of them don't.
Yes. Because, I mean, look... It was a little long in the tooth for the Blue Lagoon parody. Some of the things.
Although the dude's blonde curly hair makes me laugh every time.
Well, and look, that guy looked like the blonde, ripped English version of Tom Hanks.
And it was weird.
It was really weird. Like, he and Tom Hanks could have played brothers.
Yeah.
They should have done like a Parent Trap type of movie where he and Hanks were twins separated. One went to England, one in the U.S.,
Yeah.
And then they could do the double do switcheroo.
Yeah.
They missed out. Would have been a great movie.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's not what we're talking about.
No, we're talking about Top Secret.
All right, let's get into it.
All right, take yourself back to 1984.
Nice.
June 16th, the Canadian entertainment company Cirque du Soleil is founded.
How's it going, eh? Yeah. Look, it's more like voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? We're doing we don't use animals, because we don't like using them. We just use ourselves as the animals. Frank makes a good elephant with Mary. They do a thing that looks just like an elephant, and so just come see it, and then we're going to do the Beatles.
I'm pretty sure they named it Cirque du Soleil so they could go, have you seen Cirque du Soleil, eh?
Yes, Cirque du Soleil.
June 19th, 17-year-old Ricky Casso murders Gary Lowers in Northport, New York, contributing to the Satanic Panic Association of Heavy Metal Music and Satanism.
Was he like a heavy metal guy?
I think he listened to heavy metal music.
Yeah. Man, it's like the dude that blew his face off because he was listening to Metallica.
Oh, yeah.
Was it Metallica?
No, it was like Judas Priest.
Judas Priest, sorry. Sorry, Metallica.
Yeah.
You have enough problems.
Metallica hasn't made anybody kill themselves.
Except for the people in Metallica.
Hey.
They did a whole movie about their going to therapy.
He died by accident. Oh, no. The one guy that died by accident.
I'm just saying they went to therapy. They didn't get along.
No, I know.
It's suspect, Adam.
They also had a lot of drinking and drug problems.
I'm doing my own documentary expose. Satanic Panic, man. That was huge. If you wonder how things can go so crazy today, think about how insane the Satanic Panic would have been if we had the internet back then.
Oh, it would be insane.
Yeah.
I mean, we would be living in Handmaid's Tale right now.
Well, we're getting close.
Yeah. June 22nd, Virgin Atlantic makes its inaugural flight.
And it wasn't a Virgin anymore. Called it Experienced Airlines Atlantic.
That same day, Top Secret is released in theaters.
How silly can you get?
The music was really good. It's very catchy.
Yeah.
Although, it was just ripped off of actual songs.
The craziest thing, too, was they cited the songs that they parodied.
Yeah. I don't know if because they used more than they needed to. They probably paid for the rights to use it. I mean, because a lot of it was very, very dead on. So,
Yes.
It
was just interesting. I hadn't seen that before.
So after the success of Airplane, Zaz were unsure of what to do next.
How do you top it?
Yeah, I know.
That's the thing. I understand why Catcher in the Rye...
Why J.D. Salinger
just
disappeared off the face of the planet.
Because what do you do after that?
Yeah.
How do you top yourself?
Yeah. So, of course, they decided not to do movies. They decided to do a TV series called Police Squad. But unfortunately, it was canceled after 6 episodes.
That's insane to me.
Yeah. David Zucker explained,
we just needed a subject that we would be excited about. Starting out, we didn't have a whole genre like airplane disaster movies. We were just fans of those black and white World War II movies that were made during the war. Somehow, we didn't think that was enough. We didn't want to do a period piece. We wanted to make it contemporary. That was the whole concept of Top Secret, that it was not necessarily grounded in reality, but it would have a kind of this heightened sense of craziness. Even to which genres we were picking, which was a split between Elvis movies and World War II movies.
Yeah, that sounds to me like he's trying to justify why there's too much crap going on.
You guys smoked too much dope and couldn't pare it down.
They had been working on a script since Airplane.
But we just couldn't figure out how to do it. We made repeated attempts to combine a rock and roll movie with a World War II movie, but it was very difficult to do. We already had ideas for scenes we wanted to do, and we tried to fit in plot around those scenes.
That is absolutely not the way that you should be writing a script.
No, not at all. I mean... Sometimes concept outshines plot.
Yeah.
And if you have that going on, then it's flash and no substance.
Yeah. You should start over. It's at that point where it's like, if you can't make an actual movie out of the concept you have, then you shouldn't.
Yeah, look, gags by themselves are great. But, the thing is they were pretty self-aware about this, too, I think.
Yeah. A fourth writer, Martin Burke, was brought in to work on the plot. Jerry Zucker said,
"If it wasn't for Martin, we'd still be sitting in that room."
That room being Zaz's lawyer's offices where most of the film was written.
Oh, could you imagine?
Ugh, yeah, no.
The lawyers in there working. Could you guys just shut up? Trying to get through this deposition.
Martin Burke graduated with a degree in economics in Canada and then paid his own way over to Vietnam to cover the war as a journalist and photographer.
Sounds like the perfect comedy guy.
This experience led to his first book, Laughing War, which was shortlisted for Books in Canada First Novel Award. Upon returning to Canada, he started writing, directing, and producing documentaries for the CBC, including Connections, a 2-part deep dive into the mafia in Canada that won a Gemini Award for Best Documentary.
Great.
Yeah, Gemini is like their version of the Emmy, I believe. He also won a Genie Award for his documentary Witnesses, which was filmed inside the conflict zones of Afghanistan. The Genie Award is their version of the Oscars.
Oh, I like their versions. They sound a lot more whimsical.
Eventually, while writing his nonfiction heavily researched books like Laughing War, Burke started writing and directing feature films, starting with The Clown Murders, which was John Candy's first feature film role in 1976.
Nice. Have you ever seen it?
Nope. And probably never will because it sounds awful.
Really? Why?
Oh, it's bad. It's just a bunch of dudes dressed up as clowns killing people.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be a comedy.
It sounds like It.
Yeah, it's weird.
It was a comedy.
Yeah,
if you don't like kids.
His second film, Power Play, was released in 1978, starring Peter O'Toole, David Hemmings, and Donald Pleasance, and it was based on a nonfiction book called Coup d'Etat, A Practical Handbook.
Okay.
Apparently, if you watch that movie, the third act is literally a guide on how to perform a coup d'etat.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like a fictional country, and they're in the military, and they overthrow the government.
I think we should probably be reading that now.
Everyone should watch it. Paramount gave them a budget of $8.5 million for Top Secret. With a budget in place, Zaz began casting. Unlike Airplane, the film does not feature a large number of cameos by famous actors because, as Zucker explained,
that was one of the jokes in Airplane, and we had done it, and we wanted to move on.
That did not keep them from hiring a couple of veteran actors, though, which we will get to shortly. They cast Val Kilmer as Nick Rivers. Kilmer was born Valerie Edward to a rich industrialist and land-owning family and attended Chatsworth High School, where he was friends with Kevin Spacey and dated Mare Winningham.
Mare Winningham!
Yeah.
I've been rewatching AR. She did a few episodes on that.
Oh, yeah?
Playing a kook.
Oh, really?
It was great. She was she came in as the new resident, or the new chief resident.
Yeah.
And all this weird stuff was happening with her and Anthony Edwards. And then they realized that she faked it all. She wasn't even a doctor.
Not even a doctor.
It was crazy.
That's amazing.
That show's so goofy sometimes. But she was great. I've always liked her. She was, I think the first time I saw her was St. Elmo's Fire.
She was the unsung one in the Brat Pack.
Well, she was maybe 2 pounds heavier than the other girls, but she was the quoties fat one that was in love with Rob Lowe.
Hated the 80s so
Rob
much.
Lowe gave her a mercy F.
Gross.
It's just so gross.
Gross. Kilmer was the youngest person ever accepted into the Juilliard School's drama division.
Yeah, money.
Yeah, well, probably. While at Juilliard, Kilmer and Spacey stopped being friends over a financial matter. Kilmer was offered a role in The Outsiders by Francis Ford Coppola, but turned it down because he had prior theater commitments.
That's why you know he's a rich little snoot. Because he doesn't care. He just wants...
No, he doesn't.
He has the freedom to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, he doesn't. It doesn't matter. In 1983, he appeared in The Slab Boys on stage with Kevin Bacon, Sean Penn, and Jackie Earle Haley.
What a great cast.
Yeah. That same year, he was cast in his first ever on-screen role in an episode of the ABC after-school special about drinking and driving, co-starring Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer. Yeah, I think I remember that one.
It didn't air until 1985, so technically wasn't the first thing that he was in that was Top Secret.
Nice.
Zaz attended a performance of the Slab Boys and asked Kilmer to come audition for Top Secret.
You know, I did watch that drunk driving thing, probably around the time I was learning to drive. It did not teach me the lesson that I needed to learn.
We were one of the last, in the early 90s, early-ish 90s, we were one of the last classes to watch the, Blood on the Highway.
Oh, yeah.
And then they finally were like, we should stop showing this.
Well, they shouldn't have.
No.
I didn't watch that, and I was like the vice president of SAD, and I drove more than anybody. I was the luckiest guy alive for not ever having consequences for that.
After reading the part, Kilmer came dressed as Elvis for the audition. Jim Abrams said,
I like to think of it as the role Elvis never got, but should have.
Sure.
Okay. I'm sure he would have been clamoring to be in your movie.
Kilmer actually sang all the songs himself, and the songs released on the film soundtrack were listed as his character, Nick Rivers.
Nice.
At one point, a fan walked up and asked him to sign a poster as Nick Rivers, and Kilmer obliged.
Cool.
Yeah, probably the only Nick Rivers signature in existence.
It's probably worth something, especially now that he's deceased.
Yeah. While Nick Rivers is in jail, there's a poster of Cher on the wall because Kilmer was dating Cher at the time.
Oh, she got him young.
She did.
She got him young. She likes her young guys. I love that about Cher. She's the creepy... She's the lady version of the creepy old guy.
Yeah.
Because I think the guy she's almost in her 80s, or might be in her 80s.
If she's not in her, she's very close.
I think the guy she's dating is 19.
Oh, what?
I don't know. Maybe.
He's 14.
He's just like, oh, is this all there is?
Kilmer had some issues on set, being Juilliard trained, Nick Rivers being a rather two-dimensional character, and that there really was not a plot in Top Secret.
Did you read the script, Val?
Yeah.
What did you think you were getting into? Slab Boys?
Yeah.
It's called Top Secret. It's written by the guys that made Airplane. What did you think you were getting into?
He literally came dressed as Elvis for the audition. Like,
Yes.
he knew what he was getting into.
It's like the kind of bait and switch bullshit that you get where it's, oh my God. This has happened to me too, where an actor comes in for an audition, you're like, oh my God, they're perfect.
Yeah.
And then you cast them, and then they're nothing but a pain in the ass.
Oh yeah,
And
I had that issue with a really complicated play, and it was my own hubris because the guy fit the character so well,
Yeah.
but he could not remember his lines to save his life.
Was it me? Are you talking about me?
No. He's dead now, so
Is it me? Are you talking about me?
No.
Oh.
It was I can't remember his name.
Oh,
Little short Jewish guy.
Owen?
No, not Owen.
Irwin.
Little short Irwin.
I have a head up there?
He was such a lovely man, but that poor play, all the other actors literally had to learn all his lines.
Oh, well,
because he would jump from page 1 to page 20 to page 9 to page 8. And so they had to just figure out how to get back on track.
Well, I did a musical with him, The American Presidents, where I was Ronald Reagan, and I forget which president he was. But yeah, I mean, you never knew what was going to come out of that guy's mouth or where he was going to be.
It was the best was that one time we were backstage and he just missed an entrance completely.
He's like, Erwin, you got to be on stage.
Oh my God.
Because he just sat back and gossiped.
Yeah. I loved him to death.
So much.
But he was after that initial play, I was like, I'll hang out with you, never working with you again.
Absolutely lovely man. Yeah. Miss him dearly.
He was a sweetheart.
He was
not
the easiest dude to work with. Rest in power, Erwin.
Yes. Apparently, this was an ongoing motif throughout Kilmer's career of being difficult. He had a huge public feud with Marlon Brando while filming The Island of Dr. Moreau, released in 1996.
Well, I can understand that.
Neither of their egos could fit on set at the same time.
Well, also, that movie was just garbage.
It was not good.
And talk about a movie that didn't know what it was or what it was doing.
No. In fact, Richard Stanley, the first director on The Island of Dr. Moreau, said,
Val would arrive and an argument would happen.
After Stanley was fired, giving you even more insight into The Island of Dr. Moreau, they brought on John Frankenheimer to direct, and his thoughts on Kilmer were,
I don't like Val Kilmer. I don't like his work ethic, and I don't want to be associated with him ever again.
Damn, that's John Frankenheimer. That's crazy.
Well, that's another thing. When you have no consequences, or you don't... I'm not saying he didn't care about his art. I think he cared too much in a way.
But he didn't care if he was going to get fired or not.
Because there's no consequences.
Yeah.
People that live with no monetary consequences live an entirely different existence than everybody else.
That is very true.
And he was arrogant because he went to Juilliard.
Yeah.
And... Look, being arrogant with Brando, but Brando at that point wasn't even Brando.
No,
that was the taping lines to people's faces era of Brando.
Yeah.
Well, he's just a parody of himself, and I'm just wearing a big toga, and I got my face, it's just painted all white, and I got a tiny little man on my shoulder. Look at this tiny little man. He's my best. Can I take him home? Can I keep this tiny man?
Okay. While filming Tombstone, released in 1993, Michael Biehn said,
People ask me what it's like to work with Val Kilmer. I don't know. I never met him, never shook his hand. I know Doug Holliday, but I don't know Kilmer.
During that same production, after a few interactions with Kilmer, Stephen Lang said to him,
Look, from now on, Val, I'm just going to discount the first, say, 90 seconds that we're together because it takes that long for you to get through your bullshit.
I love Stephen Lang.
Stephen Lang is so awesome.
He was so good at Tombstone, too.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He was such a coward.
He's such a great actor. To discount this, some of his co-stars have had really nice things to say about him, including Mira Sorvino, Kurt Russell, Drew Barrymore, and Hilary Burton.
Nobody is an a-hole all the time.
Yeah, although the quote from Kurt Russell was really like, they asked him, like, what was it like to work with him? Oh, Val Kilmer? Loved him. It was just like, it was so Kurt Russell just being, I'm in public persona now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He normally doesn't have a bad word to say about anybody. But also, he probably has a different rapport with the star than with the secondary characters.
And I think he had a different rapport with most of the female leading ladies he worked with.
There you go. Maybe he and Kurt Russell had a little flirty flirts.
I mean, it's possible. His follow-up to Top Secret was Real Genius, released in 1985 after Kilmer took a hiatus to backpack through Europe.
What, is he graduating from high school? He took a gap year?
Apparently. We will cover Real Genius at some point because it is one of my favorite comedies of all time.
It is amazing.
And we will talk more about Kilmer then.
Val Kilmer was so cool.
Yeah.
Like, he was the epitome of cool in the 80s. The Real Genius is one of the coolest characters. His character, I don't look at his name.
Yeah.
But he's so good at being blasé.
Yeah. It was so spot on.
Yeah.
His performance of that character was so perfect.
He does nonchalant or blasé, but he also hits that moments. He's not an uncaring sociopath.
No.
Because he does have those moments where he realizes that he's effing up.
Yeah.
And he has humanity and he has care. The relationship between he and the kid.
Yeah, that's what that when it's like he's like kind of flippant about it at the beginning, but then he realizes the kid's just like him, and he's like, I got to protect him, and it's such a brilliant performance.
So great. Everybody in that movie is great.
It's such a good movie,
and I love movies about smart people.
Yes.
We need more movies about smart people than like dummies driving cars. Looking at you, Fast and Furious.
Lucy Gutteridge was cast as Hilary Flamond. Pamela Stevenson, known for History of the World Part 1, Superman 3, and being in the 10th season of SNL, auditioned for the part of Hilary.
Pamela Stevenson?
Yes. After her audition, she heard from her agent that Zaz was looking for a real French actress, so she set up a second audition, this time as Danielle Bergernet, a fake French actress. When the audition was over, she removed her wig, told them she was Pamela Stevenson, and Zaz thought it was hysterical, but she still didn't get the part.
That's crazy. That's so funny. You're insane. We're not hiring you. That is energy we do not need on set.
Will you be doing this on set? Goodbye. Gutridge's father was a British war poet and writer who married an Egyptian woman who was the daughter of an Egyptian prince and British woman.
Back then, man, you could have such a weird family. Nobody's marrying Egypt. First of all, nobody's war poet anymore.
That
job doesn't exist.
No.
Maybe it's coming back now that we're back to war, but
no.
And also, it's just so weird, the lineage of some of these people that we cover.
I know.
It's like he was a bricklayer and she was a nurse.
Yeah, I mean, this is extremely, extremely upper class.
Oh, yeah.
Like that snooty snoot upper class.
Oh, yeah. Well, she and Val must have got along great.
Yeah.
Which country club do you want to go to?
There was one other that we'll get to here in a second.
Oh.
Yeah. This makes Gutteridge the great-great-great-granddaughter of Muhammad Ali of Egypt, a Muslim subject of the Ottoman Empire, likely of Albanian ethnicity, who became the father of modern Egypt.
Fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee. I'm Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, not that Muhammad Ali.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Well, that's where he got it.
Yeah, well, of course.
I mean, the flight like a butterfly, sting like a bee. That was the original Muhammad Ali.
Right.
He would say that before wars.
Right.
I'm pretty.
Yeah, okay.
I'm so pretty.
Okay. She made her feature film debut in 1978 in The Greek Tycoon, starring Anthony Quinn and Jacqueline Bisset. It's loosely based on the life of Aristotle Onassis and his relationship with Jackie Kennedy.
Jacqueline Bisset. Yes, I saw that back in the day.
The Greek Tycoon.
Yeah, it was. I was a kid. It bored the tears out of me.
The hilarious thing, it's one of those, I fell down the rabbit hole in this because I was like, I realized I thought for some reason that Kennedy was married to Onassis before Kennedy.
No.
But I was like, oh wait, that's not right.
No.
But the funny thing is the director of this movie was like, it's not based on Aristotle Onassis, even though there are literally scenes of JFK dying in the movie.
Well, okay.
Yeah. After that film, Gutteridge appeared in a ton of British television and television films. This culminated in Little Gloria, Happy at Last, the 1982 TV miniseries about socialite Gloria Morgan Vanderbilt, the mother of fashion designer and artist Gloria Vanderbilt.
Who did she play?
Gloria Morgan Vanderbilt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she played the lead. She was nominated for a Golden Globe for her role. Essentially, again, just it's one of those things I would never watch because it's a bunch of rich people being snooty running around New York.
Being rich.
Being rich, yeah.
They have troubles too, Adam.
Yeah, sure they do. Right. The year that Top Secret was released, she also filmed The Trouble with Spies, a comedy starring Donald Sutherland and Ned Beatty, but it wasn't released until 1987.
Well, they didn't want to have two competing comedy spy movies come out at the same time.
I watched the trailer for it. It looks awful.
I probably saw it.
1984 also saw her in A Christmas Carol, the TV movie with George C. Scott as Scrooge.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's good, yeah.
I'm Scrooge.
Yeah.
That's what he kept saying.
He's I'm Scrooge.
Hey, boy. What day is it, you little bastard? And then he slapped him.
Bang.
Get that goose, asshole.
Her final film role was in 1993's Grief from writer-director Richard Glatzer, about a story editor for a daytime court show who is dealing with the death of his husband from AIDS while trying to compete for a producer position against Gudridge on the show.
Nice.
It sounded really interesting. But right after that, Gudridge retired from acting, reportedly from health concerns and to be with her family.
Oh, no. Is she still alive?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess those health concerns weren't very concerning.
Yeah. Maybe it was just an out. I think she was just tired of acting.
I don't feel good. Acting makes me feel bad.
Our other snooty snoot was Christopher Villiers as Nigel the Torch, the resistance leader.
He looks like a snoot, man.
Villiers comes from a high-class British family that featured politicians and bishops.
Could you imagine being on the set with these three privileged snoots?
No, especially Zaz, guys that came from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
What's pate? What's patty?
One of Villiers, I think his great uncle was there were earls and bishops and stuff. Anyway, the way that all that plays out in the British family is so foreign to me.
Well, it's also people that are counts and viscounts and lords.
Yeah,
they're just friends of.
Yeah,
they're just rich friends
of
the
you,
royalty.
You gave me the title. Great.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you have some land and a castle? Well, here's a title.
Yeah.
You're Lord Jerkface.
Yeah, well, you're a friend of mine. You don't have land and a castle. Here's some, and now you're an earl. Thanks.
The Gentleman, the show on Netflix that I think they're doing a second season of, with Theo. I always want to say Theo Vaughn, but it's not.
Nope.
But it's just Theo James, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
That show deals with that bullshit in such a fun way.
Oh, great. Okay.
Because Theo James, his father is like a lord.
Yeah.
And he dies, and his older brother's supposed to take over the castle and everything, but he's such a F up.
Yeah.
That it skips him and goes to Theo.
Oh.
But it's like there's a ton of debt and all this stuff, so they end up like growing. He finds out that they have this underground weed growing thing going on the land and stuff. It's really great. And it also cuts through all the bullshit of that stuff.
Yeah,
it's such a great. I think you'd really enjoy it.
I really enjoyed his movie, The Gentleman.
Yeah.
And I've been wanting. It's on my list. It's been on my list for a while.
I like seeing the shows about the Richie Rich where it's all a facade.
Yeah.
And they're trying to hold
like
on to that
you're actually
bullshit.
just a drug dealer.
Exactly. Or they're just kind of crumbling. They're going poor.
Right.
And seeing them
the
deal
decline.
with it. Yes.
Yeah.
That is much more interesting to me than like
totally
we're
agree.
still got billions of dollars, but we're sad.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a celebrity. And look at all my friends hanging out with me. Entourage, F you.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty bad.
So Villiers started acting in television, making guest appearances on big British TV shows like Doctor Who, Now and Then, Young Sherlock, and Mansfield Park.
Oh.
Top Secret was his first feature film. He would keep up his TV career and not appear in another feature film until First Night in 1995, starring Sean Connery, Richard Gere, and Julia Ormond, and directed by Jerry Zucker.
Not a very good movie.
I always forget that he directed First Night.
Yeah, well, he directed a few
He did.
non-comedy kind of things.
Yeah.
He got a little more serious. But Christopher is the guy that we're talking about that looks exactly like Tom Hanks.
Yeah, the blonde hair.
Yeah.
The curly blonde hair,
A fit, blonde, more handsome Tom Hanks.
That same year, he would start a casting company called 2020 Casting Limited, helping cast
Gladiator, Bridget Jones' Diary, Shakespeare in Love, Star Wars, and United 93. I'm assuming the prequels.
Yes. Well, no, he didn't go back in time.
He didn't.
He started a casting company and invented a time machine.
Wow. Well, when you got money.
Other films that he's appeared in include
Sliding Doors, Bloody Sunday, Two Men Went to War, Kidulthood, Letters from Baghdad, Magic Mike's Last Dance, and Palestine 36.
He never stopped working on TV, working quite consistently, with his longest run being on Emmerdale, a British soap opera, appearing in 129 episodes between 2006 and 2008. He most recently can be seen in Slow Horses, playing 2 different characters over 3 episodes.
I need to see that because I want to know what he looks like. And look, I tease him for being rich because I'm jealous, but the truth is he's really funny in this.
He's great in this.
He is great.
He plays that part perfectly.
Absolutely perfectly. And again, talking about the cow, and it's so funny that he insists on being the butt.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That's for the joke of, I'll be the back and you be the front. Well, if you want to be the asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, and the whole bit where the cow comes up and starts sucking on the udder. Yeah. And he's like, well, you always want to leave. We always are in such a rush. Why are we going so fast all the time?
It really is. That whole bit is the best part of the movie.
And then the total payoff after the bull comes by and you see him and then they pull back and then he's walking and it's so stiff-legged. Yeah. So great.
He was great. He really was great.
Yeah, he did a really great job. He hit the comedy really well.
Yeah, all of these people were really good actors, no matter where they came from or how they got there. Yeah. When they got through the door, they did the work.
This is the one carryover from Airplane that worked in this movie is that Zaz still wasn't playing things for laughs.
Right.
Like they were keeping it serious and making it like, no, we're making a genre movie.
Yeah.
Although this was like 15 different genres, but but we're still doing a genre movie, so be serious about it. The laughs will come because of your performance.
Yeah, everybody played it straight. There was no winking to the camera.
No.
I mean, I think there was a couple of winks to the camera, but they fit into whatever.
I think it was mostly with Val Kilmer.
Val
Kilmer. Billy J. Mitchell was cast as Martin, Nick Rivers' agent.
Hey, Nick.
Gives him the anal intruder. All these places, and I still can't make my wife orgasm.
Yeah. I also love Dear Nick, I won't be able to make it.
He's talking through the little megaphone.
Tiny little megaphone.
I don't think this is helping. Oh, such a great moment. Mitchell was American but lived in England, acting as the token American in a ton of British productions or productions based in England.
I love to hear that because we have so many English actors that come and take American jobs and Australian actors.
There's only a handful of Americans that do this, like in every generation.
I want to do it.
You should have.
I should have. I probably would have had a career. Been the only. I could definitely play dumb American really well. It's in my wheelhouse.
He made his feature film debut in Carry On England in 1976, the 28th film in the Carry On film series.
Keep calm and carry on.
Yeah. It was number 28 of the original 30 movies they made, and then they went away for a while, then they came back.
I had this T-shirt from ILM. I used to work for ILM, and they would give us a lot of T-shirts.
Yeah.
And this one said, keep calm and render on.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I could tell any editor or SFX guy because they would just laugh so hard at that shirt and be like, that's a great shirt. I love that shirt.
Billy Mitchell's other credits include
Superman, Ragtime, Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, Never Say Never Again, Morons from Outer Space, Haunted Honeymoon, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Malcolm X, and GoldenEye.
Sadly, Mitchell died from cancer on March 10th, 1999 at the age of 56 in England.
I hate to hear that. It scares me.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Jeremy Kemp was cast as General Streck, the main bad guy, I guess.
Very good.
Main Nazi. Yeah, he was funny. Kemp was a British character actor that appeared in a ton of TV and movies. He's probably most well known for his appearances in the TV miniseries The Winds of War and War and Remembrance.
Oh, by Herman Wouk.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Wouk.
Because that's the sequels to Winds of War, right?
No, The Winds of War and War and Remembrance. Yeah.
There's another one, too, wasn't there?
Probably.
I don't know.
Other TV guest appearances include
Heart to Heart, The Greatest American Hero, The Fall Guy, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, Conan the Adventurer, Star Trek The Next Generation, and Murder, She Wrote.
Kemp was an extremely private person, and his longtime partner was Christopher Harder, a woman whose parents were expecting a boy to name after a deceased friend, so they named her Christopher anyway.
Yeah, he's like, this is my partner, Christopher. And they're like, wait a minute. She's a woman!
Yeah. Sadly, he died on July 19th, 2019, at the age of 84.
Okay, that's a little bit better.
Yeah. Christopher predeceased him, unfortunately.
Oh.
Yeah. Just by a couple years. So they lived a nice long life together.
Well, good.
Omar Sharif was cast as Agent Cedric.
I love him so
He's
much.
so great in this. One of the greatest scenes when he shows up in the car all crushed. It's so great. And Omar Sharif is such a great actor, and it was just so silly.
For being so serious back in the day, and Dr. Zhivago, and
Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah. With this and Oh Heavenly Dog, the way he just kind of
just goes with it.
He was a closet comedian, I think.
Yeah.
I think he's one of those guys that got so much gravitas at a young age.
Yeah.
Also, being one of the first Egyptian actors to really hit in the United States.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on with him, and I think deep down he's just like, I just want to make people laugh.
Yeah. He had a huge career in his home country of Egypt before being cast in Lawrence of Arabia in 1962 opposite Peter O'Toole.
Yes.
He was actually nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for his part, but he lost to Ed Begley the Senior.
Every time it's super, super hot and I'm walking, I always think of the mantle.
Oh, yeah.
I'm crossing the mantle, like the hottest, most awful part of the desert.
Yeah. Sharif was one of only 2 well-known actors cast in Top Secret. When Sharif accepted the role of the British agent, they were so happy they invited him to dinner after he completed his scenes. Sharif accepted the invitation, but he didn't show up.
Okay.
Turned out he'd already left England. Zaz enjoyed the very expensive dinner by themselves. Later, when asked why he didn't come, Sharif replied,
"It's tradition in my country not to refuse any offer. Example, someone offers you a drink, you should accept it, even though you won't drink it."
Yeah. He's just never going to say no. He just is just not going to follow through.
And also, that's kind of a effed up custom.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that one.
Well, not especially if you're inviting somebody to an expensive dinner and they don't show up. Hey, I put together a huge party for you. Oh, yes, I would be there.
Bye.
Where is he? He left the country.
He's somewhere in Asia. I don't know. Yeah.
He's just being Egyptian.
We covered Omar Sharif quite a bit in our Oh Heavenly Dog episode, so give that show a listen for a more in-depth look at this amazing actor and contract bridge player. But it's funny because growing up, I only knew Omar Sharif through his bridge column in the newspaper.
Really?
Because it was always right next to like the comics.
Oh, yeah.
I was always just like, and then people were like, no, he was an actor. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. Well, you need to suffer through Dr. Zhivago. Or as my stepdad would call it, Dr. Zhigavoo. Nope. Not good, Ray.
Too close to the incredibly racist comment.
I wonder if that's what he meant.
Oh, I bet it is.
Maybe.
I bet it is.
Too bad we can't ask him.
Peter Cushing was cast as the bookstore proprietor. Cushing was the other well-known actor that Zaz cast in Top Secret. He started his career in the 30s, but rose to prominence playing leads in Hammer horror films between the 50s and 70s.
That's where that and Star Wars is where I really fell in love with him because I loved the Hammer movies as a kid.
His first lead role was The Curse of Frankenstein in 1957. He would appear in 6 more Frankenstein Hammer films through 1974.
He usually played Dr. Frankenstein.
Yeah, some version of Frankenstein. He would also appear in Hammer's Dracula, playing Van Helsing or a version of the character in 5 different films between 1958 and 1974.
Those were my favorite. I loved him as Van Helsing. I was much more of a Dracula guy than a Frankenstein guy.
Yeah,
because
same.
Frankenstein just kind of lumbered around.
Yeah, it was always just about a guy creating something and then it going, yeah.
But I loved the team ups. I loved like Abbott and Costello.
Oh
versus
yeah. I mean, really, honestly, of the old like horror, like thinking of those like Universal monsters and stuff, like The Invisible Man was by far my favorite.
Oh, that was a great one too.
Because I thought that getting invisible was the coolest thing ever.
Well, it was also really cool when he took the bandages off and there was nothing there.
The greatest though he did. Cushing played Van Helsing, 2 different Van Helsings in I think it was Dracula 1972, where. It was set in like 1890 and then 1972, so he played the Van Helsing's grandfather.
Right.
And they're such good movies. They're goofy, but they're good movies.
I love how characters play relatives of other characters and they look exactly the same.
It's genetics, Jim. Don't you know how genetics work?
Apparently not.
1977 saw him play Grand Moff Tarkin in Star Wars, which I'm sure that's what everybody knows him from. Cushing loved playing the part, and his only regret was that they killed off the character so he couldn't appear in the sequels.
Lord Vader. Yeah, he was great.
He ate it up. He loved it.
Well, he was so good at it, too.
Yeah.
It was the culmination. of all of the over-the-top parts and not over-the-top parts that he played, he was perfectly prepared to play Grand Moff.
Oh, yeah, yeah. The prosthetic that Peter Cushing wears in the bookshop scene in Top Secret involved the making of a cast of his face to fit it into.
Yeah, it was such a great gag where he's got the magnifying glass up to his eye and he pulls it away and the eye is huge.
It's so creepy.
It's super creepy.
That same cast was used 30 years later by ILM to build a CGI model of his face for Rogue One, a Star Wars story in 2016, kind of fulfilling his wish to appear in more Star Wars movies.
Yeah, it was awesome, but they still kept the giant eye, which was very distracting.
He would only appear in 2 movies after Top Secret, Sword of the Valiant, The Legend of Sir Gawain, and The Green Knight, also released in 1984.
Cool, too long of a title.
Which it has, that was the one with Sean Connery where he came in and played King Arthur in like 2 hours. It was when he was in the middle of shooting something else, and he just came in and did it and then left.
He did that a lot.
Yeah,
he did that in Time Bandits too, didn't he?
Yeah. Biggles' Adventures in Time, released in 1986, about a time-traveling catering salesman who goes to World War I and saves pilot James Bigglesworth before going back to 1986.
Okay.
Which sounds fascinating, because I love time travel. Didn't know this existed. Apparently based on a book series.
Also, extremely English title.
Yeah, Biggles.
James Bigglesworth. That's extremely British.
Oh, yeah. It would be Peter Cushing's last role.
Oh, he just retired.
I mean, technically, he kind of did. He lived for a while after that. In May 1982, Cushing was diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Oh.
He was rushed to Kent and Canterbury Hospital, where his doctors determined he had 12 to 18 months to live.
Oh.
However, Cushing recovered well enough to be released from the hospital, and although his health continued gradually to decline, he lived another 12 years without any operative treatment or chemotherapy.
Shows you that doctors don't know shit.
That's true.
No reason to go to a doctor, everybody. Don't go to your doctor.
In August 1994, Cushing entered himself into Pilgrim's Hospice in Canterbury, where he died on August 11th at the age of 81.
Oh, that was a very sad day.
Yeah. In accordance with his wishes, he had a low-profile funeral with family and friends, although hundreds of fans and well-wishers came to Canterbury to pay their respects.
Yeah, all in their stormtrooper outfits. It was.
I get the impression that he was just a super nice guy.
Oh, sure.
Like, just a pleasure and delight to work with.
Well, he had such an interesting career because, look, the Hammer films were England's B-movie horror genre. And but he was also a really good actor and very respected. He kind of straddled the B's and the A's, and it's a testament to anybody who works until they want to stop working or they die. That's somebody that's probably a good person because unless you're super, super, super successful, you can't be an a-hole.
Right. That's true.
I'm looking at you, Val Kilmer.
Michael Gough was cast as Dr. Paul Flammonde. Yeah, Gough is best known to American audiences as Alfred Pennyworth in the 4 Tim Burton and Joel Schumacher Batman films.
Shall I get the call, Master Wayne?
He was also in a ton of British TV, appearing in Doctor Who and The Avengers. Like Cushing, Gough was also in a bunch of Hammer horror movies, but he mostly played villains, starting in Dracula in 1958 through until 1976.
I bet you he played Renfield.
He did not play Renfield. It was a character very, I think, similar to Renfield.
Oh.
But the name was something else. Because that's what I thought, too. I was like, oh, okay.
It was Genfield.
They might have called him something else. It might have been the Renfield character, but they called him something else. But it was definitely a different name.
They called him Nick.
Yeah, it was Nick. Nick the vampire. Nick the vampire lover.
Nick, I need some blood.
On stage, he mostly played comedic roles, starring in Bedroom Farce in 1977, which won him a Tony Award when it transferred to Broadway in 1978.
Very lazy title.
Yeah.
Very lazy title.
Yeah, it's like, oh, what's it about? It's
Bedroom Farce.
It's Bedroom Farce.
Well, what's the name of it? Bedroom Farce.
He also appeared in Sleepy Hollow in 1999 for Tim Burton, after which he retired.
He was great in that. He was such a fun actor. He also, I think he reprised the role of Alfred for a commercial too, didn't he?
2 different commercials.
Right.
Well, not even. It's 2 different, like, campaigns, because it was like 10 different commercials.
Right.
One of them was for OnStar,
yes,
where he was always telling Batman that I've installed OnStar into your Batmobile.
Use it, Master Wayne.
Yeah, and then he did it for like Coke or something, or Pepsi or something else.
He did it for the Fleshlight, I believe.
You mean the anal intruder?
Yes.
Yeah.
Master Wayne.
Master Wayne, I found you the anal intruder.
That you've been looking for.
Alfred, I've already been using it on Robin. What are you talking about?
I've installed it in the Batmobile.
He did come out of retirement to voice characters in Corpse Bride and Alice in Wonderland for Tim Burton.
Nice.
Goff died at the age of 94 on March 17th, 2011 at his home in Salisbury, Wiltshire.
Oh, what a horrible St. Patrick's Day for him.
Yeah.
They were like, is he just drunk or is he dead? Dead drunk.
Warren Clark was cast as Colonel von Horst. Clark's big break was in A Clockwork Orange, playing a droog opposite Malcolm McDowell.
I totally forgot he was in that. I'm like, God, where do I know that guy from?
He looks familiar, yeah. He would appear in Antony and Cleopatra in 1972, directed by and starring Charlton Heston.
I'm Antony.
Yeah.
Get me Cleopatra!
When you think Shakespeare, you think Charlton Heston.
Yeah, well, he had such a great accent.
He also appeared in Firefox in 1982, directed by and starring Clint Eastwood.
I have a distinct memory of seeing that in the theater and not really liking it.
I've never seen it, but I've heard it's not very good.
Well, it
falls short, I should say.
Well, there was a string of 80s movies that Clint Eastwood made that I don't know what he was doing. Yeah. But this one was, and they're probably better watching them now, but there was an experimental aircraft.
Right.
And he had to go steal it.
Right.
And so, there's all these movies that Clint Eastwood did, like this and maybe it was the Eiger Sink, not the Eiger Sink.
No, I don't think that was him.
But there are these. It was the one where he climbs the mountain. There were all these movies where the first half of the movie is him training to do something, and then he does it. And this was one of those movies.
Oh, yeah. After Top Secret, he appeared in Ishtar in 1987.
Oofa.
In 2009, he appeared in the Red Riding trilogy.
That was really good.
That was really good.
That was my favorite thing that Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield, yeah.
That was my favorite thing he's ever done.
Yeah, it was really good. In 2014, he began filming Poldark as Charles Poldark. The character, apparently there's a whole book series, Charles Poldark.
Okay.
The character's final scene in the series in episode 4, in which he lies on his deathbed before dying, was also Clark's final scene as an actor.
Yeah, he's like, look, let's make it real.
He was
method.
He was very ill at the time of filming and died a few weeks later on November 12th at the age of 67.
Too young.
The first episode of the television series was then dedicated to his memory.
Oh, nice.
And the other 3 did not.
Wow.
they specifically said this is not for him.
Not dedicated to him.
Yeah. Harry Ditson was cast as Duquois, the Resistance member.
Duquois.
The only one that actually seemed intelligent, and he played against Deja Vu so well. Because Deja Vu was so dumb, and Duquois was just like, what are you talking about?
Deja Vu.
Yeah. Ditson is a character actor that appeared in a number of supporting roles, including
Fiddler on the Roof, Yanks, Ragtime, Reds, Back in the USSR, The Tailor of Panama, and D. Lovely.
He most recently can be heard in Alan Wake 2. He plays
nice.
a part in Alan Wake 2. Yeah, he's done a bunch of video games. Yeah,
I keep starting that game and then just not.
It's funny because I was going to try to do Alan Wake and then Control and then Alan Wake 2.
Yeah.
And I got about 2 hours into Alan Wake and I was like, just not grabbing me anymore.
Yeah, that happened to me.
I don't know what it is.
I skipped it and I was like, well, look, I'll play Alan Wake 2, and if that really grabs me, I'll go back and.
Yeah. I want to finish it, but there's just something about it that I don't know.
It's just dated. It's like a 360
I love
game.
Control so much.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Good sequel coming out this year, too.
Yeah. Jim Carter was cast as Deja Vu, the Resistance member. Carter is best known for playing the role of Mr. Carson in Downton Abbey, appearing in 52 episodes over 6 seasons.
Nice.
He also appeared in all 3 of the Downton Abbey feature films.
Good for him.
He made his feature film debut in Flash Gordon in 1980 and has since appeared in
Haunted Honeymoon, Eric the Viking, The Witches, Black Beauty, The Madness of King George, Shakespeare in Love, 102 Dalmatians, Ella Enchanted, The Golden Compass, My Week with Marilyn, The Good Liar, and Wonka.
In addition, he's also appeared in 35 TV movies and almost 30 National Theater productions.
He's very, very, very familiar looking.
Yes, it's so funny because I did not realize that was him. I love Downton Abbey. I watched the show. I've only not seen the last movie, but he's so good in Downton Abbey, and I just did not realize this was him at all.
Yeah, it makes me want to watch Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey. It's such a good show.
Don't call it Downtown Abbey.
Nope, that would be weird. Eddie Tago was cast as Chocolat Mousse, a Resistance member.
Oh, He
just eats the cigar.
Yeah. That guy's just one tough-looking MF.
He is. Tago is from Ghana, the son of a chief. He went to the United Kingdom to study reflexology, but ended up in acting when he received a grant from Ghana to study acting at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art.
Can you imagine explaining that to your chief dad?
Yeah.
What are you doing? I'm going to study acting. Not my son.
He was his first big part was the 1978 black comedy Who Was Killing the Greatest Chefs in Europe, directed by Ted Kotcheff, starring George Segal, Jacqueline Bisset, and Robert Morley.
It's a good movie. It's very funny.
I've never seen it.
It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I remember really digging it.
But I'm a big fan of Ted Kotcheff, so every time he pops up, I'm like, I need to see these movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had a small part in Raiders of the Lost Ark in 1981 as a messenger pirate. He's the guy who can't find Mr. Jones, then spots him on the Nazi sub. There he is!
There he is!
Yeah. So funny. I had to watch that scene because I was like, I thought he was the captain at first.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, no, that can't be right.
I don't know where Dr. Jones is.
You have to find him. There he is! Yeah. He also had a small part in Pink Floyd The Wall in 1982.
He was the guy that said, we don't need no education.
After Top Secret, he appeared in Baby, The Secret of the Lost Legend in 1985.
That's true. How I remember about the dinosaur.
Yeah. And perhaps his biggest role as the hippie Presuming Ed in With Nail and I in 1987.
Oh, yeah.
He reprised that role in a stage production of the film in 2000.
Nice.
Although, prior to that, in 1985, he retired from acting and returned to reflexology and got a job as a reflexologist at Newcastle United Football Club.
Nice. I love saggers when people zig.
I had to look up reflexology because I had no idea what the hell that meant.
Yeah.
Has to do with feet.
Yes.
I did not know that.
You see how good their reflexes are.
Yeah, it's about pressure points on the feet and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. Which is weird, but apparently you can literally relieve pain by pushing on certain parts of your foot.
And your hand.
Yeah. The film was shot in England at Pinewood Studios, presumably for authenticity for the genres they were spoofing.
Cool. That's where they also did a lot of the Star Wars movies.
Yeah, they also shot Superman there.
Yeah.
A lot of the scenes come from the film The Conspirators, a 1994 spy thriller starring Hedy Lamarr and Paul Henreid.
Every time I hear Hedy Lamarr, I think of Harvey Korman in Blazing Saddles. It's Hedley! Hedley Lamarr! Hedley!
Yeah, that's right, that's right. Most of the German spoken in the film is actually Yiddish.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, yeah.
Making Nazis speak Yiddish is a brilliant stroke.
A black conductor calling for tickets in German is actually reciting the old Yiddish saying,
Where you grow like an onion, with the head in the ground.
Yeah. The hotel in which the dance is held is called Gay Schlufen. In Yiddish, this means
Go to sleep.
In the restaurant, when Hillary places an order with the waiter in apparent German, she's actually speaking Yiddish. The rough translation of her line is,
Go bash your head in.
The waiter who asks Nick if he's ready to order, rather than German, uses the Yiddish curse,
Go take a shit in the ocean.
The German that Nick learns in the train is not a language at all. Words like Lichtmitten or Flakmatusch are great fun for German listeners, but have no proper meaning.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure Flakmatusch just is then trying to say spank my butt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blitzen is translated as pen, but actually means lightning, so the phrase eine Blitzen, a lightning, is also nonsense.
Eine Blitzen?
Yeah. The Latin spoken by the priest at Flugendorf prison on the way to the execution room is just random phrases borrowed partly from the religious, medical, and legal professions, with various other words and names thrown in, like Ric Dureus. At one point, he also says in Pig Latin,
Uriye oinge ute et ge iadfre in the airche.
Which translates as,
You're going to get fried in the chair.
yeah.
That's so great. And he
got
was
thrown.
fried in the chair.
He was. The scene where Hillary and Nick go to the Swedish bookstore was stage shot and then run backward to make the dialogue sound quote-unquote Swedish.
I just want to quickly point out one of my favorite gags, and it's a gag that I love and I've done before, is the popping in and out of different places when he goes into the the grate and comes out the bottom.
Comes out, and then he comes out the toilet.
Yes. Oh my God. I don't know what it is about that kind of crap that just
It's
tickles
so
me.
funny. It's very funny. Playing the scene backwards, all the dialogue is exactly what is shown in the subtitles, except for the title of the book that Hillary asked for. The title she actually asked for is Europe on 5 Quaaludes a Day.
Ooh.
The firing squad scene with the old woman with the walker was longer in the original version. It was shortened for the video release.
Which ruins the gag.
It totally does. I thought it was longer.
Yeah.
I was like, it's odd that it seemed like, I thought she made it all the way and then it stopped ringing.
Yeah, and then she goes back.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Well, you never saw it in the theater, right?
No.
Yeah.
Originally, the Nazi general ordered the shooting canceled, but the phone stopped ringing by the time the woman reached it, so she turned around and laboriously headed back the other way. The general ordered another call, so again, the woman headed back toward the phone, only to have it stop ringing by the time she reached it. This occurred 2 or 3 more times before she finally reached the phone in time, and they should have played the whole thing out.
It was great. That's a stupid executive.
Yeah.
It's just too long.
It should have played the whole thing out.
Because it doesn't work.
Yeah, it does.
Because they cut it before
she gets like 5 steps, and they cut away, and it's like he's fine.
Yeah. It was stupid. The
joke was non-existent.
Ruined the joke on that one.
When Lucy Gutteridge looks down from the balcony onto the street to see hamsters and mice, it actually was a miniature from Superman.
Nice.
David Zucker, Jerry Zucker, and Jim Abrams stated in their DVD commentary that they found it in the old Shepperton studios and thought it would be a great idea to use it somewhere in the movie.
That's so fun. They're just poking around and just grabbing shit to put in the movie. It's like, oh, don't touch that.
It's just been sitting there for 5 years, man.
Can we borrow this? Can we use this? Is anybody using this?
For the underwater saloon fight scene, the actors actually had to hold their breath, and it was filmed in bits of 10 to 15 seconds each.
That was brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant. Because there's times where it goes on for way longer than I thought it would.
Well, to the point where I'm like, are they really underwater?
Yeah. They were just holding their breath.
They wouldn't do it underwater today.
No, it would all be
CG bullshit, but that was really impressive, especially the whole saloon bit, and him grabbing the hat and putting it on. Yeah. And my favorite is the shuffling of the feet.
Yeah, and then
and they pulled so many great punch gags too, and they all worked. There's some brilliant scenes in this movie.
Oh yeah. This whole scene earned Val Kilmer a diving certificate. Apparently,
nice.
One of the requirements is being able to hold your breath for long periods of time.
Well, also they probably had scuba gear down there for them to in between shots to breathe.
Right.
I suppose.
The idea of skeet surfing came out of the Zucker brothers trying to outdo each other at press junkets.
That was hilarious.
They would specifically concoct outlandish stories to amuse themselves and bewilder journalists.
I love that, too. You got to get so bored.
Oh, yeah. The score was written by Maurice Jarre, who was nominated for 9 Oscars, winning for Lawrence of Arabia, Dr. Zhivago, and A Passage to India.
That blew my mind, that Maurice Jarre did the music for that. And listening to the music, you're like, that sounds like Maurice Jarre.
Yeah. The film was screened at various colleges, and as a result of audience responses, the length was cut from around 2 hours to 90 minutes.
Didn't they learn their lesson with Airplane?
No.
Same exact thing happened.
I think they were scared, and they overshot, because it was like, well, we got to make sure we have a movie.
Well, maybe the parts they cut out made it a movie.
Yeah, that's very possible.
It kind of filled in the gaps.
Yeah. The film was scheduled for release on June 8th, 1984, but Paramount pushed the date back to June 22nd, which angered some exhibitors.
Oh.
Because, Airplane made a ton of money.
Yeah. Well, and it's also back then, at least, because it's not, the whole theater system today is so effed up with small windows and stuff. But they, the year before, would plan what the schedule was.
Yeah.
And they would count on these movies coming in, and it was almost like betting, okay, we're going to take this movie. Yeah. It was always funny to see which theaters had which movies and which ones were winners and losers and the guys that picked wrong. But yeah, it was a much more cutthroat situation back then.
Yeah. The official reason was that Paramount wanted to avoid competing against Ghostbusters and Gremlins, although rumors spread that the studio was dissatisfied with the film's quality.
Well, and
that right there, I bet, hurt the box office.
Yeah, definitely. But that would have been a tough competition between those three.
Yeah. Producer John Davison denied this, saying,
Paramount has a lot of confidence in the picture, or they wouldn't have cared. The mere fact that they bothered to trouble some of their relationships with exhibitors shows their faith in the picture.
Yeah, that seems kind of like twisted logic, but sure.
Yes.
Regardless, the box office returns were not great, earning about $20 million against an $8 million budget.
Still a profit.
Made money.
Doubled its budget.
Yeah. Rationale for the lack of box office include
the lack of any clear sense of period, something that may throw viewers who insist on comedic non-essentials like interior logic. It's basically a parody of World War II French resistance movies, but along the way, it also skewers 50s rock and roll films, 60s beach party movies, and The Blue Lagoon, among other lampoon-worthy source material.
David Zucker later said,
The lesson we took from Airplane was just fill up 90 minutes with jokes, and you have a movie. The Top Secret is very funny, but it isn't really a good movie. It really didn't have a plot, or real characters, or real structure.
I fear they learned the wrong lesson from Airplane.
Yes.
Regardless, critics gave it mostly positive reviews, with Roger Ebert giving it 3.5 out of 4 stars, and applauded the humor, noting that
to describe the plot would be an exercise in futility. This movie will cheerfully go for a laugh wherever one is even remotely likely to be found.
Weird Al Yankovic considers this to be his all-time favorite movie.
Well, now I'm thinking my love of... No, I'm just kidding. It is a... I get it, man. I get it. It is... There are so many great gags in this movie.
Yeah. After this, Zaz would direct a straight comedy, Ruthless People, in 1986, with frustrations of three people directing breaking up the comedic team, and they did not direct together again after.
Listen to our Ruthless People episode if you want to know about that fiasco.
And also, Ruthless People episode will tell you... Because they all had careers.
Yeah.
I mean, they still technically worked together. They wrote together a lot. They just didn't direct together again.
Oh, I was like... Didn't one of them do Glory? But that was Edward Zwick. Nope.
No, they because they still work together on the from the police squad, from the Files of Police Squad, Naked Gun from the Files of Police Squad. They wrote that together, along with the other. There's another guy that wrote with them a lot, but only Jerry Zucker directed it, and then they did some other stuff. Yeah, but I mean, as is for directing together, this and Ruthless People were it.
Well, look. You can't sustain a 3-person directing team. It just gets to be laborious.
Yeah. I mean, Airplane was the peak of that, and it worked. And Top Secret works, but you see where the flaws are.
Top Secret just needed focus. If Top Secret cut out some of the fat and made it more of a period piece and less... it was just too confusing. That's the thing you don't want to do with a parody movie. You don't want to parody too much because then the audience is like, well, wait, is this World War II Nazi? Is this the 60s beach? Is this present time?
Especially with East and West Germany. Yeah. Like, I mean, within 10 minutes, you were like, when is this supposed to be said? And it's like, well, it's not. It's supposed to be said anywhere.
Well, if they're going to do the East and West Germany, they should have done the communist thing.
I know.
You know? And if they're going to do Nazis, then they got to do World War II. It just didn't... Yeah. The logic of the premise was faulty.
Yeah.
Which... You're already coming in having to convince the audience what this is. You have to explain to the audience what's going on.
Right.
And then you're going to lose them. But they bring them back with really funny bits. This is more of... I would put this as more of like a action movie with comedy set pieces.
Yeah.
And a really flimsy story.
Yeah.
Rather than something like Airplane, which was perfect because it was so focused and we all knew what we were watching.
I feel like they should have taken one of their favorite like World War II spy movies and then just based it on that.
Yeah.
And did what they did with Zero Hour.
Yeah.
And like, you have all these jokes. If they work with that, then they keep it. If it doesn't, then let it go.
Yeah, well, it's like Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid.
Yeah.
That worked really well because it was a complete parody of noir movies.
Yeah.
Steve Martin was amazing, played it straight. Yeah. And... they ham-fisted all of these real actors in, but it still worked because we knew what we were watching.
Yeah.
But this, when you have to explain to people what's going on, you're already at a deficit.
Yeah.
And so, also, if you see the movie and trying to explain it to friends, too, they're like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah,
is this a beach blanket bingo? Or?
Yeah, it's not, oh, no, it's a Elvis guy goes to do a thing in the French Resistance, and, like, it could not have had good word of mouth.
Well, also, in the 80s, people weren't, we knew the beach blanket movies because they had remade one in the 80s.
Yeah.
Strangely enough, with the same people when they were in their 50s. But, nostalgia.
But I'm pretty sure that came out after this.
Well, that's the thing. You're going for a young audience. And as kids, we all watch World War II movies with our dads. And so that is an easy... It just seems like they wanted to make a musical and they wanted to make a World War II movie, but they didn't know how to mush it together to make it one thing.
Right.
So... They just wanted to have their cake and eat it too, I guess.
Yeah, it was just too much. It was just too much. And again, there's so many good jokes and good scenes in this.
Oh, it's ultimately a success.
Yeah.
It is not a failure because there's still so many I laughed out loud a ton of times and I didn't get bored, but it didn't sustain. I didn't have that sustained smile on my face laughter like I did with Airplane because there are certain parts that aren't as funny as the others.
Yeah.
Some jokes fall a little flat because there's not a focused parodying of it.
This was the first movie, and I turned to you during the first time where it was like, Airplane had zero predictable jokes.
Yeah.
And this movie had at least two
Yeah.
where I was like, oh, they're doing when they show up at the train, they start walking and there's all the dots. I was like, oh, okay, it's going to be a Pac-Man
Right.
thing. And then at the end, when she's saying goodbye to the guys, I was like, oh, there's going to be a Wizard of Oz reference here. You know, and it's like, granted, yes, I know I've seen these, but like it just, you can feel it coming.
Yeah.
And like in Airplane, that's just not the case at all.
Well, yeah, and an Airplane was also an anomaly. It was something that we hadn't seen. There wasn't a lot of spoof movies, and especially something so oddly specific or something that was so focused on its source material and nailed it in such a perfect way.
But I think that's what makes Airplane timeless, is that it is so incredibly unpredictable.
Yes.
Even though it is based on something that we all knew,
Yeah.
and but it was being able to be so unpredictable with it, and this just, again, great jokes and great fun in it. I mean, like, one of the best jokes was when he knocks the Nazi off the top of the wall and he falls down and shatters into a million pieces, because I did not see that coming.
But they did something else that shattered into a million pieces too. And
Did they?
Yeah, it was like I forget what it was, but it was another gag that wasn't like a running gag, but it wasn't as funny as the Nazi falling, but I think it came before. I forget what it was.
I don't remember.
But that's the thing too. It's not as memorable.
Yeah.
You don't have Leslie Nielsen, and as much as Val Kilmer was great and he was game, but there was no real gravitas to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There wasn't that sense of urgency that you have with Airplane, where okay, we're on an airplane. The captain, all the crew is sick. Somebody's got to land the plane.
Yeah.
We know exactly what's
That's
going down.
because you're describing a plot.
Well, yes, but there is no real plot in this.
Yeah. It just it feels like there was just a lot of missed marks.
Yeah.
Like it could have been so much better.
This is kind of the hybrid of Kentucky Fried Movie and Airplane,
Yeah.
where there's a lot of disparate jokes that it almost should have been a sketch movie.
Yeah, I feel like it would have been better if it was like loosely tied together by genre.
Yeah.
But like just make it a sketch movie.
You have a guy in World War II who is, you have that whole bit, and then his kid is the guy, the rock and roll kid.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so you have Act 1, 2, and 3,
Yeah.
and you can make a way to where you want to go.
Right.
Without smushing all these genres that don't really fit together.
Yeah.
Because it's also weird to be in what seems like a World War II period piece hearing Elvis tunes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it doesn't. The second they had a map up that said East Germany, it was like, okay, well, obviously we're post World War II,
Right.
So why is there a French resistance at all?
Right.
I mean, but it just doesn't. And it's like, and I feel like those things could have been they could have been explained.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you could do that, but like, it just was just too much.
There was
too
a-
much happening and not enough happening.
A little lazy and too much of, okay, we're doing comedy over concept, and the comedy is going to
Yeah.
raise everything up. And in a way it does.
Right.
And it is a funny movie, but watching it again after all these years, there are a lot of gags that I loved. You know, like Sidney Arnold, the little guy who, you know, when they knock on the door and he looks like he's... And you knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
You knew it.
Yeah.
And then he's the tiny little guy. But they also used him as the tiny little guy really well.
Right.
You know, with the shootout scene and everything. And great gags, man. Like the grenade, which is such a stereotypical scene in World War II movies where the guy jumps on the grenade,
you're
but
gonna
instead of
sacrifice-
him blowing up, everybody else blows up. I mean, there's that kind of stuff is brilliant.
Oh yeah, like the tic-tac-toe. Like I mean, there are great gags in this.
Yeah.
It's really fun. It just all does not add up to a good movie.
Well, we are harder on things that we see something great within. Its,
Yeah, that's very true.
not mediocrity, but in its miss. It just
Yeah,
missed.
yeah.
It missed. It didn't miss enough for it not to be fun.
Right.
But it missed enough not to be a classic. That
it teased you enough that like, God, there could have been something really great there.
Yeah.
And it just missed.
And look, Val Kilmer is really good comedic actor.
yeah.
And he's graceful. Like the guy can move, he can dance.
That whole weird German dance sequence where he's getting to know Lucy.
Yes.
It's so great.
It's so great. And the whole dancing on the rug song where
Yeah.
he's doing
Oh, yeah.
all these
Straighten that rug. Yeah.
Well, he's straightening the rug. He's spinning on the rug. He's doing the moonwalk. I mean, the guy.
He was very talented.
Yeah. He 100% had those good looks. But it's like the scene where he's singing, and it's the Beatles, or the Beatles or Elvis, the takeoff of all the screaming girls that are losing their mind, which is so weird to me. But I realized watching that yesterday that all these girls back then were so repressed.
Oh yeah,
and they had no outlet for their sexuality or anything. No. So these were all real reactions to this guy moving his hips around,
thrusting his hips.
But that went on way too long.
It was long,
and the joke was beaten to death in that one.
Yeah.
But
the only funny thing in that is when he pulled the girl on stage and then she just collapses backwards. The sound effect was so loud. Yeah.
But still, look, like I said, we're harder on things that where we see brilliance in just missed. Just a few hairs off.
So close to brilliance, but just not there.
And it always bums me out when people peak early.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where they don't use what they've learned in their success to create something even.
Yeah.
It has the thing where I think, we talk about it's not a sequel at all, but it has that bloat that it almost seems like they weren't confident enough in their concept of having a World War II movie to just play it straight and go with that. They were insecure and needed to put a bunch of other crap in there.
Yeah.
Because possibly, like, well, the kids today are going to want to watch an old World War II movie.
Right.
But if it was like in black and white and done,
they
could have made it something really brilliant. But even saying all that, it's definitely worth a watch. And it's
totally.
It's a really good double feature with Airplane, but watch it first.
Yeah, watch Top Secret first and then finish with Airplane because it's definitely a superior film.
Even do a triple feature.
Yeah, watch all three of them. You can watch them in one night.
They're all short.
Yeah,
they're all
less than 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And you can easily watch it in one evening.
You could eat an edible, and before it runs out, you'll be all through all movies, and you'll have a really good time. And show it to your kids. See what your kids think. I think this one would be a harder sell than Airplane.
Yeah.
Because, like you said last week, even Jim doesn't have 2 cups of coffee at home. Jim never has a second cup of coffee at home. Even if you don't know that commercial, the concept of the joke works on itself.
Right.
Because then it brings back the vomiting.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll be back next week with our Stepdad Show, talk about more spoof movies and zazz and all that zazz.
Yeah. And, some of the other maybe scary movies or...
Yeah, just, some of the... I'm going to try to watch some other spoof movies that I've not seen in a while or haven't seen.
I've never seen.
Try to watch some other stuff, and we'll talk about that.
We always say that, but we never do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's one that I definitely am going to watch.
Same.
Because I did not know it even existed.
Yeah, find out what that is next week.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
Skeet surfing USA. Pew, 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 pew.
June 22nd, Virgin Atlantic makes it. Blah, blah, blah. After reading for the part, after reading the part, Vilmer? Wow.
Uraye?
Yeah.
Uriye oinge ute etge idefre in the archway. Arche. Arche?
It's chair. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Fuck you. The lack, God damn it, it's always at the end. The lack of any We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming. She's the Sheriff, already in progress.